Well, hello everybody, and welcome back. I'm glad you're tuning in again to listen to my cruise news, my cruise updates, my travel updates in general. Again, I'm not in my car. I'm sitting in my office with this guy right here, Mickey Mouse. And I wanted to go over a little bit of information with you. You are going to see an older video I taped on June 15th. I'm just going to be uploading it. I was going to re-record it in this video, but I'm just going to leave that one and just go ahead and post it, even though it is kind of old news. But I wanted to talk about some buzz in the travel industry, in the cruise industry, some information that I've posted on my Facebook page, so some of you have seen it. It is in regards to Royal Caribbean's president of Royal Caribbean Corp. Did a Q&A on the President's Cruise that's going on right now. And he gave a little bit of information regarding testing and vaccination. And so basically I wanted to jump on and let everybody know what that information is. Again, like I said, I have posted it on my Facebook page. So some of you may have already read the information. I shared it from the Royal Caribbean Cruise blog, which is another source that I follow to get some news and information and just to keep updated. They're really good at doing ship tours, and it's a pretty good cruising source for Royal Caribbean alone. It's basically all about Royal Caribbean. So if you're interested in anything regarding Royal Caribbean, I suggest you go follow Royal Caribbean blog with Matt. Anyway, the question and answer, people were asking about pre-cruise testing, and Mr. Bailey said that he thinks pre-cruise testing is going to be around for another couple months. And I mean, that's pretty good, hearing another couple months. I'm going to quote him. He said, "We obviously want it to go back to normal, but we're incredibly cognizant of our responsibilities to keep our crew, the communities, and our guests safe." Basically, CDC is in control of this. And initially, the CDC even refused to talk to them because they're like, well, hey, if the airlines are doing it, why are you not even looking at us? And the CDC didn't want to talk about it. So then he goes on to say, and they were in many ways successful in working as we were working with them in creating the protocols that allowed the industry to return in July. He was referring to the CDC. The cruise industry, out of all of the U.S. ports over the past 12 months, have gone out with millions of people since the cruise industry, since cruising started back last June, July-ish. In that time period, and I'm not just referring to Royal Caribbean, I think it means like just millions of people have gone on cruises out of U.S. cruise ports in the past year. And there are only 2 known deaths that are kind of linked to the cruises, COVID deaths that are linked to the cruises. Now, it's not to say that people died on the cruise ship. It's not to say that the people got COVID on the cruise ship, but they were previously on the cruise and then passed away after that. So they're basically saying 2 deaths out of millions. So of course, nobody wants anybody to die from COVID, but that number is really good considering millions. As far as the vaccine requirement goes, I'm going to read what Mr. Bailey said because this is a big one. Because everybody's asking about this. This is like the most frequently asked question I get is, do you have to be vaccinated to cruise? Yes, you do. Is there any end in sight for that? No, there is not. So the question is, how long before maybe we see vaccination lifted? This is what Mr. Bailey said. The no vaccine question is a huge question that none of us know the answer to. I'm skeptical that's going to change in the real short term. Many and most of the destinations that we visit require a high degree of vaccination, and they expect our crew to be vaccinated. So many of the destinations in the Caribbean simply don't have the kind of medical facilities and care that we got back in the States. So they generally are very vulnerable, and so they're obviously very concerned. He points out that I understand if you're vaccinated, you can be COVID positive and all that kind of stuff. But in this societal response to this, and its and governments have responded to it. We're constantly talking to different destinations, and I would say this is one of the areas that they're pretty fixed on. Who knows how it's going to change through the months, move through the months, but he's basically saying that the destinations right now where they're sailing are calling the shots on this. There has been ports of call that will say you can't get off the ship if you're not vaccinated. There have been ports of call that require you to do an excursion in a bubble. What this is let's just say you're traveling with a child that is unvaccinated. There's only certain shore excursions that will allow that to happen, and that's considered the bubble. So in order to get off the ship and do this shore excursion, and this is the only way in some of those countries you were able to get off the ship with a child that was not vaccinated, was to book your excursion in this bubble group. And it was handled completely differently. So they've eased up on that a little bit, but the countries are still requiring you to be vaccinated, and there's nothing the cruise lines can do about it. If they don't want us there, if we're not vaccinated, then the ships can't go there. And then here we go back to square one where we're not sailing because that's what the countries that we're sailing to want. So as of right now, I've been following a lot of other big wigs from the other cruise lines, different news sources for travel, other vloggers, and they've all been saying the same thing. They do not think the vaccine mandate is going to be lifted anytime in the year of 2022. Now, in a couple months, it's going to be reviewed, and we'll see what happens when it's reviewed. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, but right now, if you're over 12 years old, you have to be vaccinated in order to cruise because the vaccination age was at 12. So there's no reason, so to speak, that 12 and above are not vaccinated. Children, because they are children, they did say that if you're between the ages of 5 and 11, you could sail if you were not vaccinated, but you had to take a PCR test 3 days before your cruise. Only way they could sail. taking a PCR test 3 days before sail. Then, actually, I think it started at 3 to 11. Has to take a PCR test 3 days prior to sailing. Then once they get to the pier, before they board the ship, they have to take an antigen test, a rapid antigen test. And I don't know if they're still doing it, but I think they are. They also were required to take another test before disembarkation, which means getting off the ship. So for unvaccinated children, there's a few more steps to go. Now, like I said, when the review comes up in a couple months, I don't know what's going to happen with children from 6 months and to 5, because now 6 months to 4 years old can get vaccinated. It's just been a few weeks since they've started vaccinating 6 months to 5 years old. Well, 5-year-olds were already getting vaccinated, but you know what I mean. 6 months to 4-year-olds are now getting vaccinated. So they could change it to where they're going to say that you need to be, well, they're not going to tell you you need to be vaccinated if you're that young, but they may start requiring 6 months to 11 years old to do a PCR test if they're not unvaccinated. However, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. It could stay the way it is. Now, I just went on a cruise last week and we had Alexander with us. He's 18 months old. Children under the age of 2 did not have to take a COVID test. So it was only 2 and up. 2 and above had to take a PCR test if they were not vaccinated 3 days prior to sailing. So that could change a lot of things for people. But anyway, that's what I wanted to let you know about the COVID testing and vaccination. So that way you're up to date with that. Now, you guys, there are so many sales out there for cruising. Royal Caribbean has the kids sail free on select sailings. It's no holiday sailings, but it's a lot of sailings. No holiday sailings, but there's many sailings where kids sail free. Basically, you're just paying port fees and taxes, and that could be a substantial savings. We just did that with my grandkids on this sailing we did last week. They only paid $126 each for port fees and taxes, which was fantastic. And then the sailings are 30% off, and then they have some added bonuses right now if you book within this certain amount of time. So those are fantastic for Royal Caribbean. Carnival does have a sale. Let me pull it up real quick, but right now I'm in tomorrow. Princess Cruises is going to be starting their dollar deposits. Whoa, you can reserve a cruise and just pay $1 to hold it. So that's fantastic. And along with the dollar deposits, they're offering up to 40% off of 2022 cruises and up to 25% off 2023 cruises. So if you're interested in going on Princess, now's the time to maybe think about getting some quotes. Basically, they're giving you the incentive of having a bigger sale if you go this year versus next year. I think they're just trying to get their numbers up. And hey, I would like to book more trips for this year also. I have a lot of cruises booked. A lot of vacations booked, but almost everything I have is for next year. I have like 15 rooms booked on a sailing for December 31st for an extended family member's 50th birthday. And then several cruises after that and a few land vacations after that. But only a couple I have a whole family, a whole slew of people leaving tomorrow on the Carnival Miracle out of San Francisco. You may have seen videos on that. It's some of real close family friends are going. My mom is going on that sailing as well. And I have another one coming up in a couple weeks. I have a client going out for the very first time. She had to postpone her big cruise back in 2020. She was wanting to cruise for her 50th birthday and it got canceled because of COVID. So now she's finally going and I'm super excited for her to be going. I've had a few past. I'm going on another cruise. I'm going on Carnival Panorama in September. And most of you know, I don't do very many Carnival cruises. I mainly do Royal Caribbean. And that's just because I'm established with Royal Caribbean, not because I don't really like any other cruise line. However, I do like Royal Caribbean's big ships. I'm like really, I just went on this smaller Royal Caribbean ship that I have been on on this ship in the past, but when I was on there, I was missing the big ships. So I'm a big ship person. I really like the Oasis class ships. Really, really like them. But on National Travel Advisors Day, I was fortunate enough to be in on a live, YouTube live with Adolfo, who is one of the presidents, or I think he's a president of Carnival, and they were giving away free cruises. And so I got in on that and we'll be sailing on Carnival Panorama. I chose the Panorama. It's a newer ship. It was put into service in 2019. COVID happened, no ship sailing. So it's really brand new. And it's local, it's out of LA. So we don't have to, if we flew down there, it wouldn't cost us a lot. But if we chose to drive, you know, we can drive. Airfare right now is astronomical. I know, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm hoping after the summer it goes down. But yeah, I'm doing this Carnival sailing and I've only been on older Carnival ships. So I'm really excited about this one. It looks like a fantastic ship from what I can see. It looks like there's plenty to do. Again, I know it's not one of my favorite big ships like the Oasis class ships, but I'm still excited to do it. And it's going to be a sister's trip. Me and my sister are going together, and my best friend from high school and her sister are also going. So we're kind of doing a sister's trip. And yeah, I've got all these clients booked, but most of them are for next year. So we need to get some more. We need to get some more cruises booked, peeps. I want to send some more people out there. So the specials that are going on right now for Carnival are, there's a 72-hour summer clearance sale, and that is going to end on the 30th, which is tomorrow. Early saver sale tomorrow also. There was a 50% off deposit sale. You know, that may end tomorrow as well. A lot of these that I'm seeing, these promotions that I'm seeing on my screen right now look like they're all ending tomorrow on the 30th. So we'll have to see what because it seems like every week Royal Caribbean sends something. They'll take something away, they'll put it back. They'll go a week without having like the extra savings, and then the next week it'll be back. So I'm assuming Carnival's going to do something like that. But it's a good time to sail. I have some clients that booked a trip to Alaska and they got a fantastic deal. So they went ahead and they jumped on it because Alaska's not usually that cheap. And yeah, they decided, yeah, we're going to do it this year. We're not going to put it off. So they're going to try it out this year, and then hopefully they'll get to go back and do it again in a few years, because they really want to do like the train portion of it as well. So they want to go more inland as well as sail. So anyway, now's a great time to book cruises for sure. Land vacations might be a little more iffy. I mean, I know the airfare even for cruising, trying to get to the East Coast if you're on the West Coast, to the West Coast if you're on the East Coast. I know airfare is a lot, but if you want to stay close to home that you could drive and get on a ship, you can get some pretty good prices. Now, cruising out of the country, land vacations may not be that great right now, but I still can pull those up. And if you just want to go to Disneyland or Disney World, I can do that too. You know, when I first started in this business back in 2005, Disney was what I did. I did almost only Disney in the very beginning, and a little bit of cruising. And then I found that as much as I love Disney, I found that I really liked selling cruises, and I really liked everything related to cruising. So then I made cruising my specialty, and then Disney's right there with it. I know they have a big market for Disney too, so I don't rule Disney out because I love Disney. Obviously, see this guy back here, and I'm hoping to get on one of those ships in the near future also. But my focus is cruising, and then Disney, and then everything else. I still can do it. I still can do any of that stuff. I just specialize in cruising and then Disney. Okay, so don't forget. I'm trying to grow this channel. I want to see. I know people can do it. There's a lot of travel vloggers out there. So, you know, and I ramble too much, but I'm hoping that I can get some ship tours that I can do. But when I get on a ship, I get too excited and I forget to, you know, take my phone and vlog where I'm at, or do tours of the ships, or, you know, anything like that. I get so excited just to be there that I forget that I need to do those types of things. So bear with me. But I'm also thinking I can do like packing, things that you might want to take on a cruise, the do's and don'ts of what you want to take on a cruise, and just things like that. Maybe I'll get into. I know there's a few vloggers out there that do that, and we'll see. I mean, I'd love to make money doing YouTube videos, but I don't know if I see that anywhere in my future. So we'll see what happens if I can keep maintaining doing this and getting subscribers, because that's what really matters. I mean, you really have to get subscribers, and I don't think you really get anything until you have like 10,000 subscribers. And I just don't know if anybody's gonna be interested in listening to me ramble. Like, I'm already almost at 25 minutes, and I'm pretty sure you guys are bored. But anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go for now, and I'll keep you up to date with anything else new that I find out. And you know where to find me if you have any questions. I'm on Facebook. You can comment down on these YouTube videos. Yeah, and we'll talk again real soon. Bye-bye, everybody.